Hi, my name's Anthony Shingleton, and this is the second in my Pharmaceutical Top 10 Challenges series. In today's session, I focus on breakthrough organization, looking at organizational design challenges that pharmaceutical companies need to tackle in order to prosper in this new digital era. What I'd like you to imagine is that we've just completed what we call a scoping session using A3 problem-solving methodology, or what is often referred to as A3 thinking. If you're unfamiliar with this approach, I encourage you to look it up on the web or buy one of the many books on the subject. So just let's be clear. Just like in any other industry, the pace of change in the pharmaceutical sector is such that many organizational designs work against those organizations in terms of strategy execution, delivery of results, and promoting the right company culture. So let's capture that, as I said, in A3 thinking style. Box 1, reason for action and business context. Let's consider organizational designs as a process and their impact on typical true north metrics. Number 1, cost from growth. Many functional or command and control organizational designs are by design more expensive in terms of management costs, as each function is managed in a vertical manner. Number 2, human development. With a shift from pills to treatment and from subject matter experts to cross-functional teams, this means that many pharma organizational designs fail to produce the right type of employee or manager, since they are centered around technical skill expertise rather than soft skill expertise. Number 3, time. With few horizontal bridges between functions and information needing to go all the way up before coming back down, many designs not only discourage the pursuit of customer satisfaction, but also encourage a functional blame culture for failing to meet targets. Number 4, quality. Just imagine that if each of a 5-step process had an 80% yield rate, then only 32% of your products are right first time. If each step has its own quality department, and if you then add an overall quality department to oversee all steps, how can you expect the quality department to keep up with the pace of production? Very few organizational designs consider what we call quality and flow. Number 5, performance. With multiple sign-off levels, steering committee reporting requests, how many organizations either run according to timeline or exceed the timelines in a positive manner? Box 2, current state. Where are we now? Very few organizations measure how effective, efficient, or agile their organizational design is, simply because there are always other business improvements that can be made, which are easier, more straightforward. Other reasons can be the inability to find KPIs, or KPIs that everyone can agree on, just to name a couple more. But let's imagine that we've done the effort, we've used the same true north matrix, and we would apply that to organizational design. So quality. How about measuring how often the organizational structure deviates from expectation? Think of this as a non-respect of governance or people not respecting procedures. Performance. Does our organizational structure accelerate the delivery of business objectives or not? Time. How quickly does our organization make decisions? Human development. Does our organizational structure deliver people with the right business skills or not? Costs. How expensive is our organizational structure to run? What's the ratio of value-adding employees versus non-value-added employees from a lean customer perspective? No single measure can be used as a way of measuring the efficiency or effectiveness of an organizational design. But if all the measures picked went in the right direction and are in line with increased profit, one can safely assume an organization has the right organizational structure, or at the very least, that it does not hinder the organization in the pursuit of increased enterprise value. A point I'd like to make is that with today's technology and the right sampling method, this does not have to be an exercise that takes months. In fact, if we are looking to measure agility, we should be aiming to be able to measure on a monthly basis at the very least. Box 3, or what we call future state. Somewhere where we want to be typically in 18 to 36 months' time. Something within mental reach of leaders and employees. When it comes to setting targets, we could spend time doing some analysis or simply adopt what we call the double the good, half the bad principle. If organizations knew how to get there, they would have done so. So it's safe to think that this is breakthrough. It's even more so if the intent is to be able to do this year after year in a sustainable fashion. People, leaders, and employees should feel scared, uncomfortable, and without an immediate solution to offer. How about that for a simple test? Box 4. Gap analysis, or identifying what is stopping us from reaching our future state. Here, we're not only seeking to identify, but also to validate what we need to put in place in order to close the gap between current and future state. At this stage, data and the ability to analyze it is crucial. Just because I put a post-it on a wall or I say that something is a root cause doesn't mean it is true. Because data will be in structured and unstructured format, some form of artificial intelligence can make the difference between working on the right root causes or not. In fact, in some instances, it is the interaction between multiple factors that could be the issue to solve. Box 5. This is what we call the solutions approach. Typically, no more than 4 or 5 big improvement themes an organization should focus on. Quite interestingly, this should be an area where you see strategic initiatives. I say should, because quite often what you see are very tactical initiatives. Things like cultural training, delivery of specific IT solutions, adoption of technology, new equipment, etc. And here lies the problem. In the absence of a well-defined current state, we end up having initiatives that are easy to cost, but hard to measure in terms of impact on overall organizational effectiveness and efficiency. Because they're not often costed or evaluated in terms of impact, you also often find that they will fall very short of achieving future state targets. And now box 6, rapid experiments. This is quite often completely forgotten or confused as organizations go straight to some kind of global or geographical deployment. It took me quite some time to understand the sentence, go slow to go fast. But I got it when I witnessed a global deployment which failed so badly that we ended up worse than before by the time we closed the program. Now, box 7, 8, and 9 are steps in A3 thinking that most of us do. Setting up an action plan, monitoring progress, and lessons learned. You'll notice I did not say we do this well, but since it's something we normally do, I will not focus on it today. So what should we say in summary? I'd say 5 things. Number 1, organizational redesign is more than just maths and a way to reduce headcount. Think of how your organizational design promotes the various flow it has to. Some might say that it's just the same as a spaghetti diagram at a company level, and they wouldn't be far off. Number 2, pharmaceutical companies need to look at how their organizational design prevents flow and agility. Everything looks simpler in 2 dimensions. Look at it in 4 dimensions, spatial and time, and then you'll start to see the real problem this can cause. Number 3, stay away from the detail as long as possible. It is always easy to hide behind regulations and human-made artificial complexity. Number 4, this is a topic where big data and advances in technology can help you monitor progress. And finally, number 5, big means slow is an urban myth. Just look at the car industry and see that some of the biggest are also some of the fastest and the most agile. If you'd like to know more or provide any feedback, please contact me via my LinkedIn profile or feel free to send me an email at anthony.shingleton@ibm.com. Thanks for watching, and see you in my next pharmaceutical challenge video, i.e. targeting the right patient.